Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. Solana might go up 10 times from here, and Bitcoin might go up 5 or 4 times from here. That kind of thing happens in a bull market. Plus, there's always the first race, which is the early stages when you don't have any proven network effects. That's the big thing I'm starting to think about. In fact, that bet is a good one. That bet was the Solana bet of the last cycle, and the ETH bet of the cycle before that. The whole thing isn't on it though. I'm beginning to think about that since I don't trade or do anything else. I just sit. Almost every time I've sold something, it was a mistake. In fact, you should look forward to bear markets and put money into them. And after it goes up too high, it normally goes down 95%. Thanks for coming back to Crypto Insights. In this video, we'll show you what you need to know about Raoul Pal's most recent movie on Empire. Before we go on to the highlights, we want to give a big shout out to our new partner, Gemini Crypto Exchange. One of the safest and most trusted sites in the crypto world. You can trade with Gemini whether you're an experienced investor or just starting out. It has a simple interface, great security, and a lot of different digital assets. Check out the link in the video explanation to get a nice bonus when you sign up and help the channel out. Let's go one step further on this trip. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to this movie. And click the warning bell to find out what's new in the crypto world. For sure, the point of a bull market is to throw you off. Yes. This is a very strong case for a long-term bull market that keeps going. Your job is just to stay focused and not let the FUD throw you off. People always come up with reasons not to do something, even if all they need to do is buy it and then do nothing. Solana might go up 10 times from here, and Bitcoin might go up 5 or 4 times from here. This is normal for a bull market. Plus, there's always the first race, which is the early stages, when you don't have any proven network effects. That's the big thing I'm starting to think about. In fact, that bet is a good one. That bet was the Solana bet of the last cycle and the ETH bet of the cycle before that. The whole thing isn't on it though. I'm beginning to think about that since I don't trade or do anything else. I'm just sitting here with my work. That's what I'm thinking about because I think there will be a great move soon. Enjoy it while you can, but act fast because it normally goes up too much and then goes down 95%. How I really see it, the chance is that the space is worth between $2 trillion and $2.5 trillion right now. Like other types of assets, I think it will reach $100 trillion. It's the biggest trade in the history of the world and the biggest source of wealth ever. That's the deal. How would you like to cut that up? You can slice and dice it however you like. How much danger you're willing to take, but that's the trade. Almost every time I've sold something, it was a mistake. In fact, you should look forward to bear markets and put money into them. I bought Bitcoin for the first time when it was worth 200. I would have been much richer if I had just kept that job. It's not smart, right? But this cycle way of thinking takes over. Now feel free to lower the risk a bit. Take some living chips off the table. This trade isn't just a circle, so do something. It's not going to work out the way you think. You'll buy at the low and sell at the high. You're not going to. Big picture winter, spring, summer and autumn. It's macro summer now. Rates are going down and the dollar is falling. We need to file all of our debts again. Most of the time this is the best it gets. The business cycle picks up as the ESM starts to rise. I thought Bitcoin was worth $1 million when I worked on it for the first time in 2013. Yes, that's fine with me. If Bitcoin hits 1 million, the space is getting close to my goal of 100 trillion. Or maybe it's already 50 trillion. It doesn't matter. There is only one secular acceptance curve, and that is crypto. There is also the macro tailwind of currency debasement and the cycle. That's where the cycle is now. Now is the time when they give out money. More work needs to be done on them as well. This means that the end of an election year is usually a very good time. The year after that is usually also very, very strong. But this is a problem all over the world. All of the world's big central banks are refinancing their debts at the same time. These people are from Europe, Japan, Canada, the UK and China. When you do these refi cycles, you always look for the weaker link because that person is most likely to need the most help. This time China is most likely it. Just now I turned on the tapes. Felix may have just sent it out via Twitter. It's been a while since I talked about a Bloomberg story. Do the US and China agree to help each other? To say it again, we haven't really begun. When we see just regular user apps, that's when gaming starts to happen. The big breakout is what I think will happen. With so many user apps, the change from Web 2 to Web 2 to Web 3 or old internet to new internet will happen on a large scale. And I think this cycle is going to be the real start of it. The steps are very simple. You can get your money back for technology. Since 2011, the Nasdaq has given investors a 17% gain every year. That's really big since the SP only does 8%. It's a whole different game now that Bitcoin is at 147%. But yeah, I mean, I would just be focused on growth and willing to take risks. It should be that way. It's interesting that Dan brought up this point because these big family offices are not at all like that. They don't like taking risks at all. For some reason, you think that these guys will end the loop over their ski tips long again, which is something Dan also talks about. In fact, I was looking at the 10-year bond rate, which has a strange effect on the price of crypto. Also, 10-year yields in China are at about 2.1% right now, and it looks like they'll drop to almost nothing soon. We know this because this is how things are done in Japan, right? Since that many people are getting older so quickly, you've lost control of your growth engine. That means that interest rates should be much lower in the first place. It also shows how bad your debt is. Rates start to go down. When you loosen up on things, bond rates drop everywhere and the value of the dollar drops. That's right. It now means that it makes money easier for everyone. This is what makes the business cycle go. When the business cycle picks up, people make more money, invest it, and the markets go up. The business cycle has always gone in this way. But what would I do if I were that family office crew? What would be the best way to divide up the money at this point in the cycle? It is, as Dan said, a good amount of cryptocurrency. I see a lot of family offices that start at about 1% and end up at 20% over time. So I believe 10% or more is a good number. Because technology is in a stable bull market, you want to put a lot of money into it. You might finally be able to buy bonds and make some money that way. On top of that, there is no extra liquidity in crypto markets at this point in time. It's strange. So all of these early stage companies dump a few Asian trade shops, a few market makers, and a lot of stores that sell things. In crypto markets, there is a real $10 billion of expert capital. That's a hedge fund stream. Dan and I grew up in the hedge fund business. There are a lot of chances because there isn't enough cash in the space. As new tokens come out, prices move all over the place, dropping 80% as people get cash. In the middle of all the crap, these hedge funds can see through it all and say, hey, this is a good chance. The whole point of this is to raise $2.5 trillion and give it to the 12 or 14 best hedge funds in the world. Allow them to get the money.